Baby, make like I do with the punches and roll me home. Oh, you can leave your cross in the
Yeah, another episode. Toking with Topher. Excited. That's our boys, the 45, playing the intro. Roll me home, because I've been rolled home many a times. How about you, Scotty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Roll me home? I don't know about that. They've been carried.
Carried.
They might have tried to roll me a couple times.
Carted. I actually, one time I went to a dead festival, and they have what's called like a safe, area, like a tent, It was actually a swag stock. It's a dead thing, and I took too many drugs, and they were like, hey, you need to go into safe stock where they treat you, and it was cool. They put me, it was like a corral, and like every time I like raised them, I was like, oh, I'm wasted. They were outside the corral and they squirt you with a squirt bottle like they do cats. And I would just kind of calm down and lay down. And I got through my trip for an hour, and then they released me.
Back into the wild.
It was kind of cool. All right, so our show today, we have a special guest. Jay is with Tree 14 Genetics, big time St. Louis genetics guy. Does a lot of stuff for the city and does a lot of stuff for the cannabis industry. We brought him on because we got questions. We got questions for him. We want him to answer and about genetics and what he does with Tree 14. So welcome to the show, Jay.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is cool, man. Like this is a big deal.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay earlier. We were talking out by the pool, and we were talking just shooting the breeze. And there's a lot of questions I have, so I'm excited about that. So our pre-roll of the day, we've got an infused pre-roll, and it's actually the THC content's really not that high, guys. I mean, I know you were scared. It's only like 33% or 30. That's total cannabinoids. It's only like, it's pretty low, guys.
Can't read it. Can you not read it?
I can't hardly read it.
It's funny. They make them really small.
Right. It's like, I'm gonna fucking post it. I'll post it. THC is 18. THC is 13. So it's pretty low.
Oh, it's 18 and 13? Oh, I thought you said it was like 30.
Yeah, dude, look at that. But it's a little over a gram. It's an infused. We're gonna light this one up so we can get the party started. It looks good though.
What I've noticed is that the older that I get, the higher in magnification my reader glasses need to be.
No shit, Jay.
I know,
Are you
right?
kidding?
It was like it didn't really bother me until about a year ago, and I started with like a 1.0, and I was like, oh shit, this is great.
Right.
And the 1.0 kind of faded. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, all right, man, we're gonna go to the 1.25.
Right.
Right. I gotta grab. I'm not ready for 2.0 just yet. And then now I'm at 2.0.
Yeah, I'm really starting to notice it more and more, and I'm like, God. And then you try to go closer, and then it's just blurry.
Oh
it's
yeah,
nothing.
it's like looking at nothing.
Well, that's why it doesn't matter.
All right. So now this is the pre-roll of the day. It says that it was infused.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the
Distillate.
ooh.
Dry flower.
So we got some hot dog water mixed in with some citrus hick.
Citrus hick
Citrus
sativa.
hick, man. Oh yeah, man. Oh god.
It's a soupy surprise.
It's a soupy surprise.
So, Jay, let's talk about genetics. So,
Let's not beat around the bush.
Let's not beat
get
around the
right
bush,
to
bro.
it, man.
Let's dig
Come
in,
on.
man.
I want to know. So, first question I have, everybody's always asking me this. Femseeds, right? What is a femseed? What does that mean?
Okay, so a feminized seed is all right. So you have regular and you have feminized.
Come in a little closer.
All
on
right,
that.
so
Yeah, there you go.
we have regular and we have feminized seeds. Regular seeds are going to contain 50% males, 50% females on average.
That's regular seeds?
Regular seeds.
Okay.
Like the average is usually 50-50. Some might be a little bit like 60-40, 70-30, depending on how stable the genetics are, how the male was, how the female was. But when we get into feminized, you have like a 97 to 99% chance that every seed that comes out is a guaranteed female.
Wow.
So that's, in the market right now for seeds, in a lot of these places that have plant count and people can only grow so many plants, it's a smarter buy to get feminized seeds because you're not going to lose any of the seeds, or you're not going to have to grow plants and then kill them because they're a male.
Yeah,
Right.
you know?
right. Because
So-
let's be clear. You only want female seeds. It's the only thing that's gonna do buds.
Yeah. Female seeds are the only ones that are going to produce flowers.
Right.
So, it's
So, I know this is gonna be some crazy fucking scientific question when I ask, but how do you make a fem seed? How does that happen?
okay. So there's actually a few different ways that you can do it. One is through stress. So you can take a female plant, stress it out very bad, and then what'll happen is that it'll drop a hermaphrodited male pollen sac. That male pollen sac contains all female DNA because it came from a female.
Right.
So,
So when you say stress it, do you hand it your mortgage payment? Or what? I mean, what the fuck?
all I do is show up my electric bill, and it's like, oh my god,
It
you know what
starts
I'm saying?
dropping herms everywhere.
Right. But now, so that is one method to do it. That is not like the ideal method.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
There-
because I mean, it sounds a little violent, like you're waterboarding your marijuana plants to
I
get
mean,
herm
no,
seeds.
that's in that with that technique. That's almost what you're doing.
Right.
Is that you're creating like high heat, low food. You're like getting light flashes. You're letting light leaks in. You're doing all of these things that
You're
normally
not supposed to do.
Yeah. you know
No
what I'm saying?
shit. So the biggest growing idiot in America could be creating some amazing strains,
Well,
and
hey,
he
man,
just doesn't know it.
Here's the deal: is that some of the most amazing strains that have come out of projects like that.
That's fucking nuts,
that
Jay.
weren't known. Like cookies. Cookies was not like, hey, we're gonna mix this and this. Like
Right.
the original Girl Scout cookies that came out was from a herm pollination.
Wow.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right? So
That's-
I mean, just because
Stay on the mic, Jay.
I'm
'cause
sorry,
You
I'm here
gotta
we go.
get. I know
All right,
he's
man.
getting. He's getting
Hey,
in
man,
it.
hey, I told
Fucking
you I got that Italian in me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I might be on the other side of the room later. You know
We
what
need
I'm
a
saying?
cameraman to
Right,
follow
right.
He's gonna get
I
all.
love
He's
the
gonna,
energy,
he's
though. It's
gonna
awesome.
light up, man.
Oh man, well, dude, I'm about to. Yeah, I'm gonna light this other one up here in a minute. So yeah, going back to that. So like some of the, like sometimes the stress creates, like pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
but that is not a viable way to produce seeds.
Okay.
All right, and especially not if you're trying to get seeds out to people,
Right.
So people can grow them. I use a spray method. All
Okay.
right, so what'll happen is that there's a few different sprays. I'm not going to get into like
Yeah, you don't
all
have
the-
to.
Hybrix technology makes a great spray. It's a one-time spray. And what'll happen is that once the plant absorbs the spray, it blocks the production of estrogen in the plant.
Oh, wow.
All right. So now, for a temporary, like 6-week window, this female plant will revert to being a male plant. So you'll end up getting like tons of pollen sacs. It'll look like a male. All right. And then that'll release pollen. And then that'll pollinate whatever plants that you are
Right.
wanting to pollinate at that point. in
Wow.
time.
In the room.
In the room, and it's a finicky. Fem seeds
need that
can
back?
be super finicky to grow because they're coming from a stressful place.
Wow.
All right, but
This is really amazing. I did not know it was as simple as a spray. I mean,
it's
and that's not even a guarantee that you're gonna get.
it's like normally I like to spray like 2 or 3 of the same cut,
Okay.
the same female, because sometimes one won't take the spray and won't reverse.
Oh.
And if you're doing a project and you're wanting to make seeds, like you definitely need one to reverse.
Wow.
So once that reverses, it's actually you've grown flowers. You guys have all grown
Right.
buds. All right. Going to the other side of it and now growing to produce pollen, growing to produce seeds is a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like you can't just take any plant and reverse it. If you have a plant that is susceptible to stress in any way, and the genetics aren't 100% solid, the offspring in feminizing gets magnified. All of the defects, all the recessive traits, and all these things. You know what I'm saying? So you'll end up with a finicky seed that will have a higher chance of hermaphroditing while you're growing it.
Wow.
So it's like these projects are time consuming to do
Yeah, I
it,
was gonna
to
say,
do it
it's-
right.
yeah, right.
Because it takes usually about 45 days for a seed to mature. All right?
Okay.
So there's depending on what strand you're running, like the length of it is its flowering time. You have a prime like ovulation window in the female to accept the pollen. So now if you miss that window, all right, or you're too early, like early or late, will dictate how the seeds come out. You
Okay.
know? So like
That's pretty fucking interesting.
you know, so it becomes more of this like mathematical equation, you know, of like, okay, I need this. And then, so usually the window on most strands is like day 24 to 32, like that 8-day window. All right. But now if you have a strand that's like a 77-day flower, like a GMO or one of these like really old school sativas that are like 90-day flowering, 100-day flowering, that window gets pushed up to like, now it's like day 36 to 42. You know what I'm saying? Then
Right.
and whatever day is, you still have to add 45 more days to that. Then you've got to dry the seeds. You got to chuck the seeds, dry the plant, chuck the seeds, store the seeds properly, pop a bunch of them. Make sure that these are like that they're going to withstand stress. They're going to be viable for other people to grow them. So like this, like any seed project, if it doesn't take you 9 to 15 months to complete it, you're not doing the work.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
And a lot of people will just make the seed, rush it out. Boom, here you go.
Right.
You know, but like I was told a few years back is that you get one time to make a first impression.
Absolutely.
You know, so I strive to make sure that all the work that I do is like verified. It's like I can back up anything that's said, any questions, because I know what like I'm looking for.
You spent the time.
Yeah, you know, like back to the thing, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
so like,
Right.
so the feminized projects they're fun.
Yeah.
Because
And
now-
so let me ask you this. So obviously, you know, Tree 14 Genetics. Do you? I mean, if somebody you do these projects, and you've got fem seeds, do you sell to the? I mean, or people buy your seeds? If you do, you have strains that people can buy.
Oh yeah. So right now,
Are you on the web? You got an online thing?
I got. You can go to immaculateseeds.com.
Okay.
They've got my seeds. You can go to United Seed Bank. They carry my seeds. You can go to Gaslamp Seeds. They carry the seeds.
Okay. So I'm just trying to give you a plug because I
and
find
Know to
this
Grow.
really
If you go to Know to Grow, like Know to Grow has my seeds too. So
Okay.
there's 4 online seed banks
Great.
that you can go.
great.
And then there's multiple stores across St. Louis that you can go to that
Yeah.
carry the seeds too.
And I wanted to throw the plug in. I'm going to tell you why, because I was so impressed with his answer to the question. You know what I'm saying? Like, here we are. We're like, yeah, well, fucking fem seeds, and what the fuck? And, you know, it was really smart. I mean, he gives great. And so I want to make sure that people know, you know, where to get your stuff. And we'll be posting your websites and stuff here, too, as well.
Okay,
to where to
sweet, man.
get.
I appreciate that, man.
So as it plays, I'd like to, you know, I always like to you know, push the local markets, especially guys that work hard like you. So,
When you said they're available in stores, like grow stores.
Yeah,
Stuff
grow
like
grow
that.
stores and
Okay, cool.
stuff.
So what's great is that, like with seeds, is that seeds fall under hemp.
yeah, right,
All right, so
right.
Yeah.
The
there's
Farm
no,
Act,
there's
right?
the Farm Act. There's no THC. There's nothing like that.
Yep.
It's like
Absolutely.
I can legally distribute in all 50
Yeah.
states.
Yeah,
All right, like you can go to Maui right now.
right.
You can go to Maui and you can go into the Up and Smoke in Maui and you can buy Tree 14 gear
Great.
on the island.
Right.
That's
You
awesome.
know?
Right.
So
And that's, you know, I mean, I think that's important for people to know. And I'm going to tell you because we get it all the time. Well, I need seeds or clones and we said, you know, legally the government or Missouri, you're supposed to be able to buy clones in dispensaries,
which is an absolute joke.
right. So,
But it can be done.
it can be done.
It can be done.
It
But
can be
the
done.
process that the state has set up for us to
Is
do that
very hard.
is
Yeah,
really
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, what you talk about it.
Because I don't
Okay,
see
so-
clones.
let's talk about this
all right,
shit.
I'm gonna break this down because
Yeah,
I don't
fuck
see
yeah.
clones
All right.
in dispensaries.
Right,
I've
we
never
don't
had.
either.
No, you won't see clones. But I'm gonna make another announcement here after I tell you this.
Good.
All right. So if you are a licensed home caregiver or patient cultivator, or you have your rec grow, which I highly like.
Right. We
do
both
not-
have.
Do not recommend it.
Oh,
Get your med card and do it under your medical license.
okay.
As far as
All
a
right.
medical cultivator or
Yeah,
caregiver.
be a
yeah.
medical cultivator.
Yeah, right,
other
which we
than-
are.
Okay,
Right.
so if you've got your med card, so there you can get a rec grow, all right, which you are still allowed to 6 plants and all this stuff. But the difference between the medical license grow and the rec grow is the medical is run by DHS, All right. So if you have a problem and they need to come check your stuff, DHS gives you a 24-hour notice. We're going to come to the house. We're going to look at your plant count. We're going to look at make sure that you're up to par.
Compliant, right?
The rec grow does not.
Oh,
They just allow that to come in and
Like they can come in any day, any time of the day.
wow.
No notice, 24 hours
Right.
of the day, and you've given up your privacy at your own house
With the rec grow.
with the rec grow. So
Okay.
get the med card, no matter
Yeah,
what.
right.
And it increases your allotment.
It does.
You get
Your
6
taxes are
ounces,
better. I mean, a lot of
taxes are
people.
better.
There's a lot of dispensaries that even give you like better rewards and
well,
stuff.
and if you're
for it.
doing that too, you can also help your buddies out, make them patients, grow for them.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
You
I
can
mean,
make
you-
some money on it.
if
I
you've got
mean,
good
You know?
shit, if you're
Well,
growing good
technically,
shit,
we're not allowed to make any money.
no, it's like you got make no money. So how do you? Let me ask you this.
adequately charge what it costs you to produce.
to
That's what I'm
produce.
saying.
Yeah, that's what
you're
I-
not
you can-
losing any money
No,
on
you're
it.
not
You're paying
losing.
your bills. You're,
Yeah,
I always wanted to
yeah.
know that. I always
Yeah.
wanted to know that. I mean, that seemed a little like, and I was an idiot. It's not like I fucking read the law, you know. Like,
Right.
when I
I was
heard
like,
it,
hey,
I'm
I
like,
can grow, let's
wait a minute,
do
I
it.
can't make any money. Well, what does that mean? I got to grow for free, but obviously there's cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to fucking do shit, you know.
Yeah, it's like you ever see that like there's like a
Can
meme
you
or
can you bill
commercial?
yourself for hourly
I
wages?
wish, man.
like I had to.
I got a $50 a day per diem.
Right.
Hotel
Oh, man,
rooms.
hey, man, give me a
Do you
per
have? Do you
diem,
get an
man.
expense account with that? Like,
No,
hey,
no.
there's like at least a couple thousand in there for that.
Yeah, it's like you see that meme where they talk about like I just spent like $5,000 on my garden outside and just harvested my first 25-cent radish.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
That's how it goes. you
Yeah,
know?
that is very interesting. So I think the big question, we were talking about this earlier.
Oh, but I don't think I answered how you get the clone.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me
The clones.
backtrack
Yeah,
on
no
that.
shit.
Yeah,
we're
you know what I'm
fucking.
saying? I was like,
He's
hold
better
on,
than
hold
me.
on, hold on.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
that
You're
damn
hired.
That damn sativa. I'm like, okay, man.
we
I've
got
already
the-
heard
yeah.
exactly what we said 4 times. But so
It's the,
yeah, it's like
It does got
normally,
me
man.
speedy.
I usually smoke like hardcore, and I hate to say this term indica, but like that's the effect that I need because I'm always like my natural is go
Right,
go.
right.
You know, so it's like I need to like slow.
Normally,
slow
I'm
down.
a hybrid guy, but I did bring a heavy sativa with a
Oh
fucking.
yeah,
you know.
hey man, what was it? The hick? Yeah, the hick.
yeah.
Citrus.
Citrus hick. Man. It's a grape from it's a I don't know, it's an
Infused.
orange from Waynesville.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I'm saying?
infused. Yeah, deep in. It's probably from Jefferson County
Probably.
manufacturing.
Probably with a side came with a side of meth.
It's infused
It's
with
blue, man.
Jefferson
Right,
County
Right.
meth.
Okay, so let me get back to that. So if you are a home cultivator or a caregiver or a rec grower, what you need to do to buy clones from a dispensary is you need to set out and reach out to the cultivation that has the clone that you're looking for. All right. So you have to reach out,
That's a
and
good
if
idea.
they will sell it to you, all right, you have to give them they give you a 2-week notice on when the clone will be available.
Okay,
All right.
that's
and then,
easy.
And then they will drop it off to the dispensary that has been agreed to do it. And then you have a 24-hour window to come pick it up. And you
No
can
shit.
only buy 6 a year.
Really?
Yeah, you can only buy 6 a year. So it's
What the fuck?
it's like, hey, here's the option, but it's designed to fail.
God, you know what
and no cultivations are
I'm
going to sell
so-
you their cuts
I'm
right now.
so pissed to hear this, dude. You
Why?
know why? Because they fucking released Midnight Topher last year at Sense Cannabis released my fucking strain last year, and I should have just got fucking clones.
Yeah.
They would have
And they
just
kept it
released them
alive,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
But hey, now you know.
I know, but I do know what the crossbreeds were, so let's cross it.
Okay, we're gonna get into that too.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
gotta
So
go to that.
that clone. All right. That's a shitty process.
That's a shit process.
Is there any other way to get clones?
But it's doable. It's fucking doable.
Hey, it is.
Honestly, it's doable.
It
Because when
is.
you're saying that, I'm like, I know cultivators. I know, you know.
But like he said, they're probably not going to sell you that strain that they're selling in the stores.
Well, that's true because
Yeah.
they don't want it out. Because I will say
Right.
this: my buddy just went to. We just went to Mocan. Remember, we went to Mocan, and he bought. You know, I mean, I found that he had found some stuff on the black market that was exactly the same strain. You know, as a Sense Cannabis strain. And they're like, well, obviously this shit gets out, so
Right.
that would
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
be the
here's
way.
the deal: is that these cultivations need to get them too.
Right,
Right.
You know, so it's when you're in the clone market and there's, and since the Hemp Act and the Farm Bill and all that shit, now all of that's federal.
Right.
Like clones are legal because clones
they're
contain
hemp.
they contain no
there's-
THC.
That's where we're supposed to, as medical patients that want to grow, cultivators.
Right.
We're supposed to be able to go to the dispensary and get our clones. Now, to the dispensaries or to the cultivators' credit, look, we don't want your signature strains, but fucking give us Blue Dream clones or give us Northern Lights clones.
to be honest, I've always
for
had-
one of the northern.
Well, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Like the
sorry,
regular
we
shit.
I've had better success with seeds. As
Yeah,
opposed
I
to
agree.
clones.
I
think
agree.
if you get a good seed and a good strong sprout, I've had way better
But-
success.
but
with
why
seeds.
Because
can't I buy
you get a more
those at there?
vigorous growth out of a seed.
Yeah.
You're that like the seed is going to grow the best it's ever going to grow.
Especially if they're feminized.
Feminized or regular, or even like auto seeds.
Yeah,
I
autos.
think that there's a
What's an auto seed? Let's explain that to our guests.
so autos are a plant that no matter what will flower in a
What?
certain amount of time.
Okay.
All right. So they're usually heavily crossed with like a ruderalis. All right. And a ruderalis landrace is known to always flower.
Okay.
Okay.
So now you can take this ruderalis, mix it in with some stuff that you like, and then now you can, but it's
Create an auto seed.
You can create an auto
So
seed.
like 60 days, it's fucking flowering no
well,
matter what.
yeah, like I think
Is that what that means?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but no, so most autos are around like 75 to 90 days.
Okay. Well, I'm saying.
But it's straight light all the time, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
So here's my like autos when autos originally first came out, it came out from a bunch of breeders overseas.
How long ago?
Autos have been around probably at least 15 years
Okay.
by now.
Relatively new.
Longer, but-
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm sure that they have been, but they haven't been like pushed to market
Right.
until like the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
That's fucking.
And
It's
but see,
cool.
but at that point in time, a lot of the breeders were making the autos not for the ease of growth, but for the fact is that if you ever wanted to grow that strain, you'd have to buy another seed
Gotcha.
because you can't clone it.
Perfect. But okay.
So for me though, being like the grower that the type of grower I am, is that I want to be able to take clones.
Okay.
I want to be able to preserve.
You don't
what I
like the
have found,
sure thing,
what I'm
though?
saying? Like, it's just like this. If you had 100 kids, all of them would be different. Right?
Right.
Okay. So now if I gave you 100 seeds, you found one that you liked,
Yeah.
you'll never.
You
have to
can make
pop
you can make 99 more of those.
You would have to get another 100 seeds,
Right.
to find
Find
one
another
that
one.
was similar to the one that you liked
Right.
last time. So the consistency, you're never going to get the same thing twice.
But
So if you find something you like in an auto, all you're ever going to get is what that plant
Produces.
puts out.
the conversation. I mean, people that are growing at their home because they can now, right? They're looking for. We talked about this. They're looking for places to get their seeds. I got a lot of messages where to get seeds, how to do this, and how to do this. We're trying to post and educate people to grow this because it's not a cheap medicine, right? It's something that's not cheap. So if you can do it on your own, which we can. But I think the intricacies, like we're talking about, where they're going to see these terms like feminized seeds, they're going to see terms like auto flower, right?
Right.
They need to know what that means.
they're looking for.
And God, Jay, you're so fucking good
yeah,
at explaining
So
it.
does a
It's
happy grower
amazing.
carry your seeds?
No, Happy Grower does not carry my seeds.
Okay, about Dank Hydro. Out in Troy.
Dank, JP. I don't have any out of JP.
Okay.
Well, we should probably
So
get him a
locally,
James, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I know JP. JP, yeah, me and JP are good friends.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I just haven't got out to Troy.
This
You know
is
what
a
I'm
great area to get seeds out because we got a lot of land out here, dude. We're,
Oh,
in, we're in
yeah.
the fucking boonies.
saying? Yeah.
I got 4 acres up the road ready for your seeds.
Well,
You know what I'm
The
saying?
most that you can grow is 18.
Well, you
Maybe
know, I got
24,
paid- I got
24 with the correct licensing.
Hey.
You know.
I got 75
They're just really
patients.
spread apart.
Right. Here's the deal: is that the beautiful thing is this. All right, is that if you are a caregiver and you have max patient count, all right, you are allowed 24 flowering plants.
Right.
All right.
Right.
They never said that those 24 need to be this size.
Right.
All right. Like, I've spent time in Arcadia. I've spent time in Humboldt. I've spent time in Gerberville. I've been up in the Emerald Triangle.
Yeah, the Emerald Triangle,
for
baby.
extended periods of time.
It's a scary spot
right?
for weed people. It is, man.
Hey,
It's
man,
not for
you
the
know,
squeamish, man.
No, but I mean, anything that you do, if it doesn't scare you, why do it?
Right.
You know.
Right.
And
Hey,
I've
no,
seen,
I
I've
say
seen what
that-
24 plants can
Listen,
really do.
I say
you
that-
know, so it's
I say
like,
that with the utmost respect for that area. Those guys.
Oh no, man!
They know what they're doing.
They're the pioneers of cannabis, you know?
Right.
Like, even though like overseas in Amsterdam and Barcelona and all that stuff, you know, they're decades ahead of where we are right now.
Right.
But Northern California is the backbone of like the best genetics in the world.
Right.
You know, and now you see all these guys overseas, they're wanting American genetics.
Right.
All right, because this is what we've been doing. These guys have dedicated their life. I knew farmers that would do thousands of plants a year, never took a clone.
Right.
Every year, 20 years, the guy down the street makes the seeds.
Right.
The
Why?
guy up the street comes, gets them, and now, dude, now we got
Yeah.
plots,
Well,
like some of the best strands ever that we'll never be able to see again because nobody knew what the lineage of it was.
Right.
Are
And
sadly gone.
And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a little secret. I've been to Amsterdam a couple times.
Okay.
Quite a few times. I was
Yeah.
a Cannabis Cup judge in
All right.
04.
Okay.
So what people don't really realize, we're way bigger than Amsterdam. So people always think Amsterdam, like that's the spot, but those grows are relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. They're small. There's no square footage in fucking Europe anywhere. So
no.
Amsterdam, these grows are small. And when you go there to get bud, you look at the bud. There's bud on fucking 30% of the bud on that menu is some swaggy looking bullshit that's just getting picked up because it's being
'Cause
grown.
that's all there is
Right.
over
That's
there,
what's
you know?
available. Now what you do get over there is a lot more like Moroccan hash, Tabisla
Mm-hmm,
hash, and things like that. But it's super small scale. So I we talk about like Amsterdam, and the only reason we say that is because it was legal. It was a pirate,
Yeah,
fucking
but they-
port
In the
cow,
red light
But, I mean, but
right.
but,
That's it.
they
But when you talk about the triangle and what you're saying, pioneering, that's that's all the United States.
But just like the same risk that we took in the United States back then, Amsterdam served its purpose.
It did.
Amsterdam created this high times culture.
A vision, that we could
now,
have.
granted, high times at this point in time is garbage,
Right.
And they've completely left
Yeah, we
left
know.
where they were at.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
That's a whole.
Yeah.
Because now it's
Because I haven't read.
Yeah,
or
they
anything
ran the
so-
Cannabis Cup.
yeah they ran they
It was
did
a,
it,
it was a Cannabis Cup.
and like the Amsterdam Cup meant something.
It did.
It was
It
like,
fucking
oh
did.
shit, you know what I'm saying? And like you're like,
You had New
and, like,
Yorkers coming in with
yeah,
fucking bags
yeah.
of weed.
You risked everything
Yeah.
to get on there because like you see those people that won back then.
Yeah.
We go back to
New
like,
York Diesel was in
yeah,
that
and, like,
shit
you got
along.
Arjan, you got DNA Genetics, Don and Aaron.
Yeah.
Those guys changed the game for American breeders.
Right.
Like they got to a point they were just like, man, we gotta go.
Honestly, that is what happened. So
Yeah.
even in 04, when I was the judge, they gave us the list. You get all these other shit local, but there was a fucking shitload of U.S. fucking growers that had their shit there, like New Yorkers. We had California people that had strains of weed in the Cannabis Cup
Yeah, the LA,
at the fucking
like,
Amsterdam,
the
and you're
LA
thinking,
Confidential,
yes,
Like,
fuck yes,
And I tell you, that's
absolutely.
that's one of like. It's sad that it doesn't get grown on commercial scale,
right?
Because it's just not viable.
I've had it. I've had that, and it's good.
But it is like that. Is,
It's like a blue dream. It's like a blue dream.
It's everything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It encompasses every part of the entourage effect. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
not like in a.
For sure.
Yeah, that was. I fell in love with LA. Comedy.
Which one was? Okay, that's what. Okay.
LA
Yeah.
Confidential. So
So it's basically just an OG LA
right.
Affy.
So that's interesting about the culture of that, and how that we've evolved into that. And you're right. You're absolutely right, Jay. High times used to mean something, and That's why I dreamt of it. You know, back in the 80s when we're smoking weed, I'm like, I want to, hey, Tom, I
And
can't.
you see that field, you'd open up, they'd have like that 2-page spread of Field of Dreams. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, you know.
And sometimes all you could get was brickweed. And you're like, I
Yeah.
wish I had that.
Yeah, and then it would be like the back page would give like the market prices of what was around. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck
And you would
yeah.
and like I was like, damn, man, some of these cats paying a lot of money for this weed. You know, I was like,
Sucks to be in the Midwest.
right, you know.
You
Here's
know?
some Kansas ditch weed.
So here's something I really wanted to hit on, Jay. So Vibe Cannabis, right? So we were
Shout out to
talking.
Vibe.
Yeah, shout out to Vibe Cannabis, and I'm going to dig more into this cannabis company. Because your strains are there, and this is what we were talking about earlier about how do you get. So you're a genius with the genetics, and we were talking some of the strains you have coming out, and that you have out, and you're now able to get these into dispensaries. What was that process like, and when can we? What can we expect from you with Vibe Cannabis? Because you mentioned that at the pool, and I'm like, I heard some of the names and what's coming on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is going to be awesome. I mean, I'm excited for this.
Oh yeah, I'm super
And
stoked.
congrats, by the
thank
way.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you,
I mean,
Like,
you're a St. Louis boy, so
and you know, like, you know, you think about things and you have visions of like where you're trying to go.
yeah.
You know, and like I always had this, like, I wanted to, you know, I wanted to grow as much weed as I could to get it to everybody, you know, because I always, like, that was always this goal I had. And then realizing that that is impossible, I was like, man, I can, like, let's shift focus here and let's dive into genetics and making seeds.
Right.
And I make seeds of the things that I personally like and what I want to smoke and what I think work together. So in my head, it was like, man, this is my way to get it to everybody. And luckily, one of my friends who works at Vibe had been growing one of my original strains that I released, the Animal Taffy.
Nice.
And he was like, man, he's been working there for a while, and he was like, hey Jay, man, I'm gonna get you in here. We're gonna get some of your genetics in. I was like, man, you do it, man. I'm game.
No
you
shit.
know, like whatever it needs to happen, let's do it. So then in January, like they invited me out. I had actually been approached by 2 other cultivations.
Okay.
And I toured these other 2 cultivations, and then I got to tour Vibe. And I know this sounds like so cliche here, all right? But walking into Vibe, there was a vibe.
Right. I love this.
There was a sense of like, okay, man, like you could feel the energy in the group of people that they have hired.
Okay.
You know, and they're all like super excited, you know, because you got a bunch of new people that have grown before that or never have grown, but are so interested in it and like want to learn, you know. And that's, you know, you throw in a bunch of people that have been growing for 20 years, 10 years, you get a lot of people that think they know everything already.
Right.
So like that willingness and that openness to actually push
Honestly,
the
dude,
envelope is in this next breed right now.
Right.
And it was great to walk in, feel everybody there. Not like I didn't touch them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no creepy Joe shit.
Hey, we don't need to know about your personal life, Jay.
Right.
You know what?
I'm saying?
The vibe might be very right.
The
I
vibe
don't
was
know.
good. So, you know, I talked with the director of cultivation, and we walked through a couple of the flowering rooms, the veg room.
So at that point, do you just give them seeds?
Well, you know, it was
like, here you go, bro. Grow it
was-
up. Make it fucking happen. Johnny Appleseed.
Well, I mean, a little bit, you
Jay
know.
Appleseed.
It came, you know, I could have done it with anybody,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But then one of the things that I'm a big like proponent of is what you do at the last stage. All right, because what's the point of spending a month growing the plant, 2 months flowering the plant, to just cut it down, fast dry it, and get it to market as fast as you can?
Right.
All right, like why am I going to waste 90 days of my life to shit out at the end?
Right.
And sadly, a lot of these licensed cultivations, not just in Missouri, but across the United States, it's such a rush to get to market that they don't take that final step properly.
Nice.
All right,
I like
so-
this.
so-
This is good shit. You know, for real, he's right. He's
I mean,
right.
it's right because
Curing process.
At home, you're going to take the time.
Right. When
you're
you're
going to trim it right.
You're gonna cure
you're
it
gonna
right.
burp the jars. You're going to do
Fuck
all of this
yes.
stuff. You're not going to try to dry it in 6 days.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So
To
we-
meet a
after
margin.
we went through all
I
the
love
grow
this.
rooms, and I was, everything was beautiful, sanitary, clean. Everybody's on top of everything, and then went to the trim room. All right, and I saw a table of 16 to 20 people hand trimming, and I was
Okay.
like, okay. I can respect
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Get that machine
I
going.
can
Yeah.
respect that.
And
Right,
I've done that
right.
machine, and, it
they were
tears
like,
shit up.
and then they were
Right.
like, "Hey, you want to go to the dry room?"
Right.
And I was like, "Of course."
Yeah. Please.
You know,
Can
so
I?
open up, you open up the door of the dry room. Dry room's, I don't know, a few thousand square feet, maybe more.
Right.
And racks on racks on racks. Everything.
So they're stacking
everything. Climate controlled, 58 degrees, 60% humidity.
Right.
All right. So they're doing a 12 to 14 day process before it goes to the trimmers. And then after it goes to the trimmer,
It's
they
cured.
They do a 2-week in a cure tube in a climate controlled room the same way. So we got a 28-day process before we package it and go to market. And when they package it and go to market, they're in the NO2 cans.
Right.
So they're taking out all the oxygen.
Right.
So there's no degradation of the product inside the can. It creates the shelf life, keeps a little bit of the moisture in there.
Holy shit.
And I was like, you know what? All this other stuff, every grows, it doesn't matter. You got rooms with lights and tables. That's how it goes.
Right.
But when I got out of the cure room, I was like, yeah, this is a done deal.
So are they more? They're more of like what you would consider almost a boutique cultivator.
Yeah, because
Taking the time.
They're taking
for
the time.
extra process.
So I have toured. I've toured a lot of grow rooms in my time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I've been in them.
call my agent.
around the globe. Around the globe. I mean, I'm not saying I know what's going fucking on in them. Okay, like you would
But
when
once
you walk
you
in.
see him and you
But-
see,
but
it's
you from a being a bud, like you said, I want to go to the dry room, or I want to go. What are you curing? I want to smell that kind of indoor product.
Mm-hmm.
Me as more of a consumer side of things, going through these tours, right? Not like him. He would be like, okay, and the fucking this is, he would tell me everything.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, because the thing about this is, if your fucking marketing department is or your sales department is like, hey, we need product, and everybody's backed up. Now your cultivators are getting ran by your fucking marketers and sales department to put out a good product. Like, how are you supposed to do that? It's like,
Kudos to you for even
no shit, to
going
even
that deep
recognizing
into it and
this.
recognize
No
that to say
shit.
this is where I want my
'Cause you're right.
strains grown, because they're going to be
they're
the best
gonna get the best
representation.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Fucking
That was so important.
That's
know.
awesome.
No shit.
That's huge, man.
Huge.
And then it was just like, okay, this is the day we're going to do it, and that was back January, I think January 13th, somewhere around
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
that. And
So when is your first
Yeah.
round of genetics
Fuck
thrown
yeah,
out
I
through
can't-
Vibe available to the public?
shit.
all right, so today,
Come on, man. We're waiting.
Oh, yeah.
So today
Baby
we
needs
are-
new pair of shoes.
we are actually 12 days into flower right now.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, so we'll probably, I think we harvest August 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
Around the beginning of
And
August.
we're not rushing the process.
All right.
28 days, motherfucker, wait.
So September, we will, like beginning of September, first weeks of September, we'll
Package
be,
up
we'll
and-
be packaged up and going to market. But the first release is going to be, since we're, like this is a big pheno hunt.
Right.
Right,
You
okay.
want the
So-
best of the best.
So
Yeah, yeah.
what it is that there won't be like enough of each particular pheno. All right. So what we'll do is we're gonna probably do a bunch of like mixed pheno pre-rolls
Okay.
and a bunch of extracts. So there'll be solventless. There'll be
Okay.
be live resin.
So not a lot of
It's
flour.
not a lot of
not
flour.
a lot
than
of
the pre-roll.
Not a lot of flour,
But
what-
except for the pre-roll, which I
except for
actually,
the
I'll get on the
pre-rolls,
pre-rolls.
It'll be cool.
I'll get on the pre-roll.
But so then like right around between like week 6, 7, during that final phase of flowering, we'll know which what phenos we want to move forward with in flower, which ones are working, which ones that we all like kind of like. So then the second harvest will narrow down because we got there's anywhere between 33 and 48 phenos of each of the 6 strains that we've got in there.
Okay.
So
wait, can we talk about the strain names real quick?
oh, you want to talk about strain names?
6
okay.
names. The 6. What are
Okay.
your 6?
The 6 names. 1 is the RKO.
RKO.
2 is the Liquid Sunshine.
Liquid Sunshine.
3 is the Cuties.
The Cuties.
4 is going to be a strain called Carvers.
Carvers.
All right. Now we're going to talk about Carvers real quick.
Yeah.
So Carvers is peanut butter breath crossed with tagalongs.
What the fuck?
Tagalongs is peanut butter breath crossed with Oreos. All right. So this is a heavy peanut butter strain. All right. So let's go back to the name Tree 14. All right. Who is the most famous peanut person in the world?
Planners?
No, George Washington
Carver.
Gotcha.
All right. Guess where there's a statue?
God damn it,
You know what I'm
Scott.
saying?
You need to get up on your shit,
Planners.
bro.
I think it's that edible. That microdose edible
This motherfucker's eating peanut butter out of a jar.
So that strain pays homage to that. I mean,
That's
there's
awesome.
there's
George
statue.
Washington Carver's a fucking
Yeah,
master.
he's the peanut
Yeah,
man.
he's a peanut
All
guy.
right. So then number 5 is the peanut butter parfait. All right?
Nice.
And then rounding it out is the Mississippi Nights.
Okay,
Yes.
stop right there. Okay, let's just take a break and breathe. Me and Scott, I when I heard this shit earlier, I got a boner.
Killer, man.
I was like, there's a fucking Midnight Topher was a great strain, but Mississippi Nights is like the best strain for STL to have
Yeah.
in the fucking universe.
Well, the 3 of us, obviously.
Obviously.
Most people
Yes,
watching
fuck
this will be
yeah.
like, fuck Mississippi. So many memories.
Jay,
Oh my
that's
God.
great.
Like,
So, what
this-
is Mississippi Nights? What's the cross?
Okay, Mississippi Nights is a cross of GMO and tagalongs.
Oh, wow.
All right. So it is like a creamier garlic mushroom onion. It is like it's the kind of herb that you only want at certain hours of the day.
Okay.
It's not, you don't wake up and smoke this. You know what I'm saying? This is like that 6:30 p.m. You know, it's like,
Right.
all right, man, we're locking it down for the night. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy, like sedative.
Nice.
It's
Mississippi Nights.
Mississippi Night.
It's
It hits
fucking-
you like, because
Bro.
no one has anybody seen Mississippi Nights during the daytime?
No.
no.
Yeah, I would never go in there again if I saw the
Maybe
daytime.
early
no.
morning if I slept in the
Right,
back of my
yeah,
truck.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe when the sun
Sunrise.
was coming. Yeah, sunrise.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
sunrise.
shit, I
All
gotta
right,
go
so
to
let's
work.
talk about
man.
this. What was your first show at Mississippi Nights? Can you remember that?
Yeah, mine was fucking. Well, it's either Guar or Smashing Pumpkins. I can't remember.
Mine might have been like
I think it was
Pale
Smashing
Divine
Pumpkins.
Oh wow!
Eyes,
Wow,
something
that's a
like
good
that.
one.
Right around when like the Choice and Stir
Yeah,
and
I'm Urge.
and,
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
Urge
I saw-
Smashing Pumpkins.
I saw the Urge.
Gish.
At Mississippi Nights.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
many
All right.
times.
I've
Yeah,
I'm gonna
seen
tell
them
you,
at
I'm gonna
Kennedy's.
tell you this. This had to be
And Mississippi
this had to
Nights.
be one of the worst experiences of my life.
oh shit, what happened?
Like it was
Come on.
absolutely terrible.
How
no.
bad could it
okay,
be,
'cause
Jay?
I'm gonna
Not
tell you
the
what-
band.
Jesus.
No, the Urge.
Yeah,
was fantastic.
Please, I love
And,
you,
like,
Bill.
back then, they
Steve,
used
we
to
love
do this,
you.
Like they used to do this like Sweet Home Little Jamaica.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Like and
Yeah.
it was like, oh man, I was like, dude, like
They were a vibe, man. They
Yeah,
were awesome.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
they were. You're
You
right.
know?
They were a vibe, bro.
But
They were
let me
a vibe.
tell you who they opened up for. Public Enemy. Okay.
Oh man.
Like for one, just the weirdest combination that could have ever
I
been.
could see the Public Enemy people just staring at the Urge. It's like,
Yeah, but you know what? They had a ton of fucking energy.
Yeah,
they
no,
probably
no,
did okay.
no. I'm gonna tell you,
didn't
they
they?
came out and
Slayed it.
Oh, dude, it was.
Yeah.
it
I remember
was-
Marilyn
It was
Manson
so
there, too.
memorable. You know what I'm saying? Like that part, I will never forget. But see, during that time, I wasn't 21 yet. All right, so at Mississippi Nights at 11:45.
Yeah, the underage
You
part.
had to go.
Yeah.
All right. So fucked up thing. Urge plays from like 7:30 to I think maybe 8. They played 45 minutes. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, and then we're waiting, and we're waiting.
Waiting.
All right,
TikTok.
11:20. All right, Public Enemy comes out.
Oh my gosh, there was a 3-hour.
It was like 2.5, like 2 hours 45-minute wait. All right.
Nothing going on in between.
No, they're not even playing fucking music.
Oh, my
you know what I'm saying?
God.
Like everybody, you can just feel everybody's
The
just like,
tension.
what is going on?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right? So then at 11:20, here comes Public Enemy without Flav.
Oh my god.
Without Flav.
Without Flav. You know,
Oh,
and
my God.
This is at like the height of
Right,
Public Enemy back
right.
then. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like
They were taking
damn,
off, like, yeah.
right, you know?
Dude, they were lucky to get. Yeah, fuck yeah.
And then so 11:35, Flav comes out on stage. Chuck's like, man, you owe these people an apology. Flav goes, I don't owe these people shit. All right. All of Public Enemy walks off stage.
Oh man.
And Flav just grabs a record, puts it on, and like Flav by himself is terrible.
Oh, of
All right?
course.
And then
But like that
boom,
chorus.
I wonder
and-
if this was like a stage thing.
No,
no,
fuck no, it
He was
wasn't.
smoking crack in the hotel.
Yeah,
with hookers.
dude. Dude, Flav was
yeah,
fucked.
Flav was out of his mind.
Yeah.
But then, like, so there's literally like 10 minutes, and then they're like, everybody under 21's got to go.
Oh my
jeez.
god.
So we were, you know, we were anticipating this great show.
Wow.
And they probably didn't want to kick you guys out, but they had, you know,
Yeah,
they're following the laws
yeah,
and all
Oh,
that.
fuck. Man, Mrs.
And they're probably
United's-
going, this fucking band.
You know, it's a legendary club.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've seen Marilyn Manson was there.
Well, they
I've
got
seen
that book out now. Have you
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
the
the
book?
I've
book's
seen the book.
awesome.
We
Yeah.
The book is
actually made
great.
the book.
You did?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a little mesh thing on there. I
awesome,
was
bro.
like, holy shit, check this out. It's
Mesh
at the bottom
STL,
of the
bro.
page.
Mesh
It's cut
STL.
off, but it's there.
That's such deal.
It was crazy.
Congratulations,
You know what? I'm going to jump into some Mofo 20 news because I got some.
shit.
I got some for us. Missouri on pace to become the 6th largest cannabis market in the United States. So looks like we're moving on. Appears to be on its way to becoming the 6th adult use marijuana market in the United States. There will be publication Cannabis Business Times published an article stating that Missouri is already outpacing long-term time marijuana markets, including Washington, Oregon, and Nevada. According to Missouri's Division
Oregon,
of
too.
Cannabis Regulations, 348 millions worth of recreational cannabis has purchased in Missouri between February and May of this year.
Wow.
Add in medical cannabis sales, and the figures jumps to more than 471 million over the past 4 months. So here's a quick quote from our boy from Andrew Mullins, who just
we just saw him. Okay,
Missouri's quick ascension into a top 6 cannabis market shows that the recipe of low tax, customer friendly access, and tremendous community buy-ins is maximizing the industry's impact on the Missouri economy. Andrew Mullins, MoCan executive director, said in a prepared statement, cannabis sales have already generated $100 million in revenue in Missouri, with total sales of $1.2 billion in more than 15,000 direct jobs created after just the first 4 months of adult use sales. It's apparent that Missouri is proving to be one of the most successful launches of a new marijuana market in the country's history and a roadmap for other states to follow. So that's
Still a few out there.
you know, that's a pretty fucking bold statement, but he's right. I will say this. As we talked about embracing our local experts, which I like to call someone like Jay, right? You know, Tree 14, he's like, hey, my fucking genetics are the shit. I work hard for this shit, right? And my shit, you're going to buy my shit, 6 strains here soon in a dispensary. I think.
Hold on. Actually, there will be 7.
He's keeping one in his pocket.
I'll let you finish.
Okay.
And then we'll get into that one.
Okay.
He's put one in his pocket.
I love this.
I'm pulling that ace card out.
I
you
will
know?
say this. I mean, you
So
know,
what you're trying to say is like just the fact that this
the
Missouri law is embracing locals.
right. I like this. I like the fact that we're embracing the genetics in some way, and that we're sitting with the guy. I'm going to smoke this guy's fucking genetics soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's important to me as
That's
a
not
consumer.
grown in, you know, a
Right.
pot in his
Who the
backyard
fuck
or
is
whatever.
it? Who's Blue
This
Dream?
is like
Who the fuck's Blue Dream? I don't know if it's Blue
he's
Dream.
taking an
I
already
love this
great
Mississippi
strain,
Nights.
doing it even better,
Right.
and
right.
getting it to the
Right.
masses
And
legally.
Legally.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
So
He just looked around like, they're here?
Yeah.
They're here to get me.
Okay, so that's my first story for MoFo 20 News. That's the latest Missouri news. So I like that. I liked what I heard. Here's
Well,
another.
a lot of the answers to that statement right there and why we are where we're at right now, being the sixth biggest launch, it's like one of the six biggest sales in the country. All right, is because unlike Washington, unlike Oregon, and a lot of these other places that have 600 cultivation licenses, 800 fucking manufacturing licenses.
Are you talking Oklahoma?
You know, I mean Oklahoma.
It's a
even
fucking
back to
disaster.
Oregon,
There's a Wild West.
I had a rec license in Oregon,
Yeah.
and that was like it was. You talk about competition. You know,
Right.
it was like you're already battling a beast that's been there for decades,
Right.
And you're trying to come in being an outsider, and,
Right.
And then like I would go to wholesale places there. I'd see pounds for $15.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
like it was a hard market to be in. All right.
yeah.
But see, here with the way that they actually engineered this bill and the way they gave out the licenses and everything like that, like limiting the number of cultivations and manufacturers and dispensaries, all right, creates a bigger buzz, and it keeps
Right.
the price point higher.
Right.
All right, so the room for profit is higher.
Right.
All right, so that's that's one of the main reasons why we're like they're maintaining
Correct.
value.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? It's not just like, hey, this isn't just thrown to the fucking masses.
Right.
And like, I don't think a lot of the businesses like knew what would happen when rec took off. So
Right.
like a lot of like on the medical side, most of these places were only running 30-40% operational. You know, because they just the demand wasn't there. You know, because they I think we ended up topping out at like around 160, 165 in med cards.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But they didn't anticipate that there would be 41,000 licensed home grows in the state. You know, which you think 41,000 people. That's a lot of home growing. So it kind of covered the margin
Right.
for these. You know,
Right.
and then in the first 4 months, we go back to February now.
Yeah.
Now it's a race to fill.
Right.
You know, we're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like we're 4x sold out right
Well-
now.
well,
you know what I'm saying?
and we've talked
and we're
to-
anticipating that you know.
And when we went to MoCan, we talked to several cultivators, big licensed cultivators, and they're running 60%. They're only running like 60-70% in their growing operations.
Some less.
Some less, but they're
They're ramping up.
They're ramping
because
up.
of the demand.
They got
they
to
have
because of the demand.
They have to.
You
But now
know?
here comes like the setbacks of that.
I
is
mean,
that
distillate.
now
We
they've
talked about
had- they've-
distillate prices went.
Oh, they're
just in the time we've done the show, and I mean 7-8 weeks. Distillate prices went from 14,000 a
doubled.
liter to 22,000 a liter.
But now that
That's a lot.
that
That's a
will
lot of
level
fucking
out.
money.
That's
It's
gonna
going to
drop
level out.
It will. We
just
know
because
that.
the demand.
Right,
The
we know
demand's
that.
high right now because
Right.
they underestimated what the recreational market would do.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So the only problem is that you have a lot of these places that have all this space, have all this stuff, and haven't used it. So they actually don't even know what their place is going to do under full load.
Right.
You know, it's like,
Right.
damn, now we're going to be shorthanded. We're going to need
Right.
to hire 30 more people. We're
Right.
going to like, oh damn, if my HVAC messes up, if the air purifiers mess up, the water lines mess up. You know,
Right.
we're taking these huge risks, you know, on untested grounds because
Right.
a lot of places just haven't even ran or tested at capacity yet.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's like people, there can be a slippery slope here.
Right.
You know?
I do think that the laws were set up right. I do appreciate that we're positioned to be the 6th largest fucking.
Yeah, to be that successful.
I mean, it's
says
great.
a lot to
You know,
the
it
law.
says a lot.
And there's things
hey,
that people complain
Yeah,
about and
I
everything
mean,
else, but
you know what?
overall, it's done pretty well.
Next story, I like to go to marijuanamoment.net. That's one of my favorite websites to get some marijuana news. Latest article on there is marijuana is safer than alcohol and cigarettes and is less addictive than technology, Americans say in a new survey. Americans consider marijuana to be significantly less dangerous than cigarettes, alcohol, and opioids. And they say cannabis is less addictive than each of those substances as well as technology, according to the new poll. The survey released by the American Psychiatric Association and Morning Consult last week looked at public opinion on the dangers of addictiveness and 6 different substances plus technology. So, with respect to marijuana, 38% said that it's very or somewhat unsafe. So it's like pretty much you're pretty good, you know. So
I think we know that.
cigarettes, alcohol, cigarettes was 84%, alcohol 64%, prescription opioids 66%. You know, they feel unsafe, and unprescription opioids 75%, vapes 76%, and marijuana was like 23%. So people pretty much think
Well, the
it's
stigma starting
non-benign.
to go away from it, I believe.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
with the medical stuff and like
Yeah.
really people are starting to see how much it actually treats.
The only thing I don't like, man, is that now like there's no need for like a good stoner movie anymore.
No,
You
there's
know,
always
it's
you know what,
like wait,
Jay,
you know, like because now it's like, hey, you know, like
It's- you know what?
everybody, like my
Listen,
grandma's smoking, everybody's smoking.
I
Like
I
I
think-
want one of those old stoner movies.
I
Yeah,
do
you know?
too, but
right.
I think we're like we need a more mature one, you know, like
That's just 3 old guys sitting around talking.
I could
You
see
know what I'm
like
saying?
No, but I think you guys are
I
onto
could
something
see
'cause
like
they're probably
stoner movies with like dudes with like Lamborghinis and big houses, you know, like complete, you know, like Cheech and Chong, like with like success, like idiots
Yeah.
with success,
Yeah,
because
you know, but then
because
it's just silly people getting high.
it's
you know?
yeah, it is, it
Which
is,
is
it
like-
is.
it's like,
but
there's-
And
you
maybe
know,
it's
like-
a reality show.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what built this
'cause
business.
Yes.
Maybe
that's
it's a
what-
reality show.
That's
it's not
what
a movie.
built the business. You know, I mean, I will say this: stoners built this business. You don't see fucking crackheads fucking putting medical.
Crack.
Like, hey, this is medically good, and they can't get it legal. I mean, there's really legit shit about this plan, and stoners actually push these laws across the state. I will say, Jay, one of the things that we talked about was our Missouri laws and being 6th in the country, or 6th largest in the country. I know the people who made those laws. I'm friends with them. Kevin Riggs and Mullins, and Tom Muzzy. Those guys were all the lobbyists that put those laws in place for us to get medical stuff, right?
John Payne.
John Payne was in the first place. And to hear their passion about this plant and also be stoners is incredible. So we know that stoners made this, and good on them for forging this for us to get here. That's all the Mofo 20 news I have. But here's what I do know: this guy's he's holding out. He's fucking holding out. He's
What's
got a
number
number
7?
7.
Okay, so number 7, I
Get in that mic. Get in that mic,
The
Jay.
official date has not been set.
Okay.
but it will be soon.
Because we're putting words on this too. So
Okay,
as you
so
talk,
very soon, all right, you will be able to go to the dispensaries in the state of Missouri and pick up feminized seeds.
oh,
So
I like it.
the first seed, like legal seed release in the state to dispensaries is coming very soon.
Oh my
Collab-
God.
So they're going to allow the seed sale.
That's
now.
amazing.
Collab between me and Vibe.
That's amazing.
So there'll be like a limited number. There's 200 packs.
Oh my God.
Of which strain?
So it's a cross of Stay Puff and one of the strains that I created called the Cuties.
Okay.
And the Stay Puff is grape gasoline marshmallow OG. And the Cuties is mimosa Skittles face off OG.
Wow. I got mimosa grown. That's seeds, man.
Good strains.
No
Strong
shit.
strains.
Strong strains.
Yeah.
Tested
beautiful.
strains.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was another project that, it's like none of these things have come easy. It's all like, hey, like
Right.
let's get it done. Let's
Right.
do it and let's be first, and
That's
let's
fucking
set the
awesome.
bar so that like, like now there'll be more releases.
Yeah,
And
I love
hopefully-
this.
Hopefully that inspires other people to do other shit.
Right.
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 Because
Dude, man, I'm happy for you, man. I
That's
think
Thank you,
that's
man. Thank you, man.
congratulations,
Thank you,
Jay.
thank
that's huge, man.
That's huge. Well, I'm going to end the show, Jay. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I mean, you've given us so much fucking information about, I mean, the inside and what's going on here in St. Louis, and I'm so proud that your genetics are out there. I cannot wait to get things like Mississippi Nights and, you know, be able to see
St. Louis local strains. It actually means something to say. St. Louis is a big town.
No
like that.
shit.
Like, we love our city.
We love
our
like,
town.
We pay more for Anheuser-Busch than you do in another city.
Yeah.
It's because like we
Yes.
support our
We
own,
do.
and that's
We
why
do.
like I stick to like a lot of the strand names that I make. I always pay homage to like St. Louis because like
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
was a
all
dickhead.
over, and I love it.
I had a chance to name my strain. And they named it after me.
Selfish prick.
Midnight
Topher.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, I had one shot.
I mean, hey man, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
but you're a cool motherfucker.
I had one
right?
shot. I had one shot.
I had one shot.
I love you guys. Hey, it's been Toking and Topher.
Later.
You know what? The best thing you guys can do for us is comment on our stuff, like, share our pages. We're on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify.